Everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Terrebonne Parish and the surrounding area seems to be a lot safer now as a Operation Ceasefire was just done in our local jurisdictions, multiple jurisdictions provided that with spearheaded by the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office. Blake Tabor is here to talk about it, First Lieutenant. Thanks so much. I really, that's what I like about this area. And I don't want, like I said, I don't want to get into like, hey, this is a small town. But to be able to do this kind of work with a bunch of jurisdictions to get a 24 arrests of people that could be, problems in our community is pretty successful operation.
Absolutely. Look, and this is something we pride ourselves on, and we talk a lot about it. We are very blessed in this community to have such a close working relationship, not with only public safety partners at a state and federal level, but also at our local level. And it has proven time and time again to be beneficial for this community. So, and this is just another example.
So, how y'all did this all in one night?
Well, this was done, an operation that was done over a 2-week period of time, give or take a few days. But this particular operation was born out of necessity because of firearms that happened to be entering the hands of not only violent criminals, but a lot of juvenile offenders. And we've been seeing sort of a spike in that lately. So, of course, our criminal intelligence unit, who does phenomenal work within our jurisdiction, they gave birth to this particular operation. And, of course, anytime we do that, we include as many public safety partners as we could. So, our hats off to all of those agencies who were involved in that. But at the end of this, we arrested 24. Not everybody's name appears in this press release because there are still some ongoing investigations, but it yielded a significant amount of illegal narcotics in multiple forms, as well as 8 firearms being removed from the street. Right. So huge success.
All right. So what
So our first suspect that we encountered was a person by the name of Sheldon Henry. He's a 32-year-old male from the Prince Collins area. Of course, he was the subject of an encounter at a street level situation. And ultimately, we found him to be in possession of several types and forms of drugs, and he also resisted an officer by flight as he tried to flee the area at the time of apprehension. So he was arrested for possession with intent to distribute CDS-1, possession with intent to distribute CDS-2, an additional count of possession with intent CDS-1, obstruction of justice, and also resisting an officer by flight. We have another subject by the name of Ryan Gerwa, a 40-year-old male. We encountered him during a traffic stop where they were found to be in possession of at least 4 grams of marijuana along with drug paraphernalia. He was also found to be an impaired driver. So again, during that stop, we reached out to our public safety partners in Louisiana State Police, who came over and assumed control of that particular investigation as it related to his driving impairment, and they ultimately arrested him on some charges associated with that. We had an additional female suspect by the name of Skyla LaCroix. She's an 18-year-old female from Dulac. She was found to be in possession of over 4 ounces of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. The next suspect was a Marcus Hills, 22-year-old male from Schriever. He was also arrested. You see him photographed here. Arrested during a traffic stop encounter. Agents were able to quickly determine that he had an outstanding warrant for carnal knowledge of a juvenile through our parish, so we were able to take him off the street. He ultimately was arrested for numerous traffic-related offenses along with the outstanding warrant, and a firearm was found in his possession, which was taken off the street as well. Our next suspect that we encountered was a Tyson Vincent. He's a 30-year-old man from Gray. Again, another traffic stop encounter in the 400 block of Champion Street. And he was jailed on charges of texting and driving, improper tail lamps, and possession of firearm by convicted felon. You see him photographed here. He also was taken to our criminal justice complex, where he remains jailed there on a probation hold. The next was a Jaquan Hawkins, a 42-year-old male, and an Alfred Little, 42-year-old male of Gray. They were both cited during a traffic stop encounter in the 200 block of Mobile Estates Drive. Over 36 grams of marijuana was recovered in that particular set of circumstances, so that was a really good arrest. The next was a Rontrell Holmes. He's a 21-year-old male of Gray. He was cited during a traffic stop encounter in the 400 block of Mobile Estates. Again, found to be in possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia, and he was cited for those offenses. Next suspect was a Tamaj Torian Smith, a 20-year-old male of Houma. He was arrested during a street-level encounter. You see him photographed here. This occurred in the Mechanicville area of the Houma Police Department jurisdiction. He was found to be in possession of a concealed firearm, carrying one in his waistband. So ultimately, he was arrested on that particular charge, and a firearm was recovered. The next 2 suspects we encountered was a Randall Billiot, 23, of Dulac, and a Randall Patrick Dean, 38, of Houma. They were encountered during a traffic stop encounter in Ashland Drive area. Again, some illegal narcotics and a firearm were found to be in the vehicle, and they were both arrested on those particular charges. Next was a Keyron Jones, a 36-year-old male of Houma. He was arrested again during a street-level encounter on Payne Street. This particular suspect attempted to keep his identity unknown to the officers, but luckily, having so many officers on scene, one was able to recognize him and quickly determined that he was not who he says he was. Again, several forms of illegal narcotics was found on his person, along with some possession with intent to distribute, CDS-2, CDS-1, drug paraphernalia, and also resisting, along with some outstanding warrants. The next was actually a pretty good stop. Officers encountered a Blade Rodri, who's a 20-year-old male of Houma, during a traffic stop near Cemetery Street. You see him photographed here. He was found to be in possession of over 90 grams of marijuana, which is a pretty significant amount, along with some drug paraphernalia and also a loaded firearm in the vehicle. So very good stop. Glad we were able to get him off the streets. Sean Ruffin, 19 of Houma, was cited during a traffic stop encounter in the 5900 block of Main Street. Again, marijuana inside the vehicle, and he was cited for those charges. This last one was a pretty significant encounter. It was a Kevin Ante Paul Ross, 29, of Harvey, Louisiana. Ultimately, the operation led to a search warrant that occurred on Jennings Lane in the 100 block. Officers came into contact with him at that location and quickly discovered that he had an outstanding warrant for second-degree murder through Thibodeau Police Department, which was an active case. So it was a very good grab. We got very lucky grabbing him, and ultimately he was remanded to their custody. So we were very excited about that.
Yeah. So overall, this operation, as you look at all the things that come together, that's a lot of drugs off the street, a lot of firearms, which can lead to a lot of different problems in a community too.
Absolutely. Right? And, the biggest thing is now we have 8 firearms that are off the street that are not going to get into the hands of wrongdoers. So we're very excited.
All right. Well, Blake, great police work, and we appreciate you guys working together.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time.